Be encouraged. I see that you are worried. Here's a chance to hear a word. Without God, it's just absurd. All I can do is uplift you. God will enlighten you. So stand up, talk as a song. God will never let us fall. Let's talk. Our walk. Here's your motivation. So why the hesitation? As the Vic brings the fire, hope you can be inspired. We rise, we fall. God's got you through it all. Pass the Vic and let's talk.
Hey, everybody. Yo, you know what? I need that. Give me my, what Deion Sanders say? Man, give me my theme music.
Be encouraged. I
Give
see
me my
that
theme
you are
music.
worried. Here's a chance to hear a word.
Yeah,
Without
what we
God,
doing
it's
tonight?
just absurd.
This is
All I
how
can
it's
do is
moving
uplift
tonight.
you. God will enlighten you. So stand up, talk as a song.
Oh,
God will never let us fall. Let's talk. Our walk. Here's your motivation. So why the hesitation? As the Vic brings the fire.
yeah.
Hope you can be inspired. We rise, we fall. God's got you through it
Yo,
all.
we're in the
Pass the
building.
Vic and let's
We
courage. I
are
see
in
that you are
the
worried.
building.
Here's a chance to hear a word. Without
Look,
God, it's
check it
just
out.
absurd. All
Let
I
me
can
give you
do
this.
is
First of all,
uplift
first of all, first of all. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Listen, I am super duper excited tonight. I know some of you are wondering what in the world is going on. We normally see you on Tuesday nights. What are you doing in this room on a Monday? Well, I am excited to share some amazing things with you guys tonight. I hope that you are in a space and a place where you can get your pad, get your pen, uh, get ready to take some notes. Some things are about to be transferred, man. I got a special guest tonight. Let me just do this first of all. Happy New Year to all of you. It's been a minute since I seen you. The only reason I'm up here on live is because we're doing something special. We're taking a break from some things. We just finished our consecration for the year, for the first part of the year at our church. We wanted to make an intentional decision to give God our first fruits this year. We are determining and making a decision to put God first in everything. I'm talking about everything, and I'm so grateful, man. I'm excited. I'm thankful that our focus this year is grace and growth. And I'm talking about every area of your life. I need you right now to hit that share button. Hit the share button. You come in the room, you know it's our creed, it's our culture, it's our custom. Come in, say something good, man. Say something nice. It's like it's the first part of the year. You should be happy just because it's 2025 and you still alive, right? Come on, man. It's just what it is. Like, this is what we do. This is who we are. But I'm excited tonight. One of the areas that I've been challenged to create an opportunity. See, one thing I am, let me just let you know, I speak three languages: ministry, media, and the marketplace. I'm a licensed realtor, licensed contractor. I build houses. I'm able to set you up in a position where you can experience home ownership, as I believe every person should. But there's some things you have to do, some responsibilities, some disciplines that have to be in place in order for that dream to become a reality. And also, we do have a presence here on social media, every platform known to man. You name it, we're on it. And it's our heart to really bring what we believe will be thought-provoking, life-changing. I'm a life hacker. And so I want to do whatever I can to be able to life hack whatever you're doing in your life that's not yielding you the return that you hope or envision. And so to that end, I wanted to bring you in to something amazing that we are doing and hosting tomorrow night. Now, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm going to do something that I don't normally do. I'm going to open up doors tonight. You hear me? That you're able to come be a part of this amazing gathering that I believe is going to shift a whole lot of people's lives. I had an opportunity to meet, and I'm going to call him a guru. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to call him. I'm making a point to surround myself with people who are smarter than me, who know more than me, not to dilute what I know and who I am, but I believe if I trust the voice and listen to somebody that knows more than me, I can get there faster so that I can enjoy it longer. And I'm grateful that we were having a Bible study, right? Just one night, we were just talking, and this amazing gentleman happened to be in the room and just parked and just added value for a moment. And something about him, I had to greet him. I had to meet him, and we started talking. And lo and behold, he was in a lane that I needed the wisdom in, the understanding of you don't know what you don't know. But I've come to the understanding what you don't know will kill you. What you don't know will keep you from your greatest potential. So I have him on, and I'm grateful that he shifted his schedule. He moved some stuff out the way for us tonight. So I'm so grateful and honored to bring to y'all. Now, he's going to put on an amazing seminar for us tomorrow. We're talking about kingdom finances and how to unlock your credit wisdom. You know what? There's a lot of us that don't know. We think we do, but we don't know. It's time out for leaving out the shade tree guys who still selling you out of the trunk of their car, 1 for $3 and 2 for $5, and get behind some people who have actually studied the industry, who actually have, as I like to say, as the coaches say, got receipts that lives have been changed and impacted by doing what they instruct. And I'm on that road tonight, and I'm grateful that he is here. Y'all help me welcome. You know what? I got to throw him some theme music. I can't just let him come on. I got to give him some theme music. I'm trying to tell you, the man got the sauce. You don't know tonight. He ain't going to give y'all everything, but he going to give you enough to think, give you enough to ponder, to get your family in the right place. Y'all help me welcome family, my friend, my brother, Mr. Dwayne Jenkins. Let's go. Let's go. He's in the building. Let's go. Hold the applause. Hold the applause. He's in the building, y'all. Hey, man, I'm so grateful you're here tonight. I'm so grateful and thankful that you are here tonight, man. How you doing, brother?
I can't complain, man. Can't complain. You know what? I thought I was tired, man. I'm not thinking guys. If the Lord can move mountains, the least I can do is move a meeting around. Make this happen, no problem.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Listen, I love it. First of all, thank you. I want to thank you personally. You're gonna hear this tonight. You're gonna hear it tomorrow. I'm making a point. I know that there is no coincidences in my life. I know God puts things and people together for purpose, reasons, and seasons. And I know that night that you may had a late meeting, that night that you had a late conversation that you didn't know why, that God was setting me up to meet you for the purpose of getting me to my next level to help other people experience things, places that they never thought would be possible. But to have you in our space to add value, to create so much wisdom, man, that we are really not understanding that we need to know. And I'm grateful, man. I thank you for, like I said, you adjusted that schedule. You got to see, this is why you got to have people that you can call and just move and shift, man. That's what I love. I appreciate you, man. I'm not gonna take it for granted. I understand you got things, you got stuff going on, man. And for that, you would take time just to give us a little a sample on what we're gonna be able to eat tomorrow. First of all, just kind of give, man, your name, you give us a little background of who is Mr. DJ, who is this guy that I need to know and need to have in my ear now.
Well, you know what? It's interesting too. I mean, there aren't any coincidences, right? Because I'm never at that location. I'm very rarely there, and I'm definitely not there that late. And when I am, I'm trying to get out of there as quickly as possible. So yeah, there was no coincidence that we connected at night. It was great. I just think it was just your message, your energy, your powerful speaker, and then when you speak, you do have such you're speaking about something, right? So there's a way with words, and then there's the words itself. And I mean, it resonated with me. I can appreciate that. It's a skill set. It's a blessing. So in striking up that conversation, I mean, find out how our worlds overlapped. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's been a long time in the making. We talked about this a while ago, so I'm glad it's happening,
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your baby. This is your baby. This is your brainchild.
Yeah.
This is what I believe. Out of all the things that you've experienced, out of all the things that you tapped into, this was the one thing that stayed. This was the one thing that set up. And I believe just watching you move, just watching the people that you're connected to, I believe this is something you do in your sleep, something that doesn't require you to just do a whole lot. I like to say that when it's purpose, you'll do it even if you didn't get paid for it. Now, please understand, you're going to get paid for it. Let me be clear.
I know what you meant.
When you lock in the purpose, man, it just happens. I believe that's my niche, what I found in terms of real estate. It's something that I wish I would have found so earlier than I did. But I do it in my sleep. It's something that I enjoy to do. I enjoy getting up and going to work. I enjoy even meeting the different obstacles, just challenging me to think bigger, to approach it differently, but to never quit. It's something that I enjoy. Talk about it all the time. I see it in everything that I do. It was so much of a burden to me that I brought my wife into it. She got tired of me talking about it. I had to bring her into it. Now she understands. And so now this becomes our conversation. But tell us a little bit rather about Credit Kwando. What is it about? How it happens? What just give us a little bit on the history of this company.
I got you. So it started off as a complete accident. So, when we talk about some of the credit companies out here that can help you, you see them on TikTok, you see them on social media. And it just seems like, they pop up out of the blue and they have all these great promises. They're showing you these, bad credit reports. And then right next to it, it's a great credit report. And you started on Friday and Tuesday, you got great credit, and all 50 of those items are magically gone and you got an 800 credit score. And like most things, when it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. I didn't take some course to get into this. This business was completely unplanned, or at least not a plan of my making. And it was just an accident, if you ask me, if there's a such thing as an accident. I'll tell you what, if I was being prepared for this, man, I remember that process, and I had very bad credit. I might have had a 600 credit score if we added all three of them together. The crux of the matter, what really sent me into action, was when I went to go get financed on a car. The manager told me he couldn't approve me for a Twix if I had a Snickers for collateral. I have very bad credit. So what I had that was even lower than my credit score? It was a self-esteem issue that was and that caused me to go out and buy things externally that could maybe like give me some artificial worth. And then, when you're chasing something that's artificial, you end up in a fake place. But I'll tell you, one thing real came out of it was the damage to my credit. Trying to rob Peter to pay Paul to give Paul a sob story to go get some Jordans from Foot Locker.
Come on, man.
That was the toxic, never-ending cycle, right? But yeah, I don't know if you remember that song, No Scrubs, TLC, Passion
Yes, sir.
and Ride. I was the best friend. I had a car. Like a lot of people on social media, it looked good on the outside. It was something else on the inside. Only thing that worked on it was the check engine light. It was literally a coffin on wheels. And I wasn't going to let it go because my self-esteem was tied up in that hunk of steel. So, tomorrow, one thing that we'll talk about is how things off of the credit report affect your decisions that end up being on your credit report. Because honestly, you show me a late payment, a collection, a charge-off credit card, a repossession, I'm going to tie that thing to a divorce. I'm going to tie that thing to your self-esteem. I'm going to tie that to blind decisions you were making, not looking at what's in front of you. Right now, you want to talk about being sick and twisted mentally. Of all the jobs and occupations that you could have in my credit situation, I was a debt collector. So it was my job to call people and tell them how trifling they were for not paying their bills. And I would definitely tell them how trifling they were. But honestly, most of the people I talked to had a higher credit score than I did.
Wow.
Right? So then my car finally caught on fire. That was literally the fire that lit motivation up under me. Got pictures of everything, right? And this happened before everybody was walking around with a mobile smartphone. I don't know how I had a camera to document the fire department putting water into my car. But man, the more I think about it, there's no coincidences, there's no accidents. It was a path. And you know what? I just wasn't understanding the path, but I see it now. Right. I would tell a bill collector all kinds of excuses, but man, I'd be there Saturday morning when that mall opened up. I'd get Jordans, two pairs of the same color in case somebody stepped on the first pair.
Wow.
Right? But hold on though. Last time I pulled that sneaker out of the box, I was at a high school in Virginia Beach, and I was speaking to the senior class about how if you're not paying attention, your life could dry rot in front of you like the sneaker in my hand. Wow. So you never know the tools you're picking up now for the job you're going to have to do later. So seeing as though you can't kill a dead horse, that was my credit. So I was like, hey, let me try to do something with it. I can't hurt it more than it already has. I had a wealth of knowledge, being in front of credit reports every day. Yeah. And from April of 2009 to September 17th, my credit score went from the 500s to a 724. 4 days later, it's at a 764, right? So now I'm at my credit union, and I decide to apply for an auto loan. And they came back and they gave me a check, and they said that, hey, you can go to any dealership and get anything you want with this check. And, up until that point, I, would use the AMP method to buy a car. You know what that is?
Talk to me.
It's the apply and pray method, where you go to that dealership. The bottom of Virginia Beach Boulevard where the digits, it's just 3 digits in the addresses. Yes. We ain't in 5 digits where the actual dealerships are. Yeah. Buy here, pay here. I would go in there and pray for a car. And what they brought back in return was not a blessing from the God I know and serve. But anyway, it was just lessons that I had to learn. But now I've got a check in front of me, and I could go to anywhere and get a car. And at that point, I found something, because I didn't feel good as a debt collector. I felt bad because here I am calling somebody a schmuck for not paying their bills, and they're in a better situation than I am. So that tore me apart without me even realizing, because your subconscious doesn't know the difference. Right? Yes. So I'm feeding this information to myself. But now, I've done something that really works. Like, this is my credit score. I'm doing real things. I'm not a celebrity, but I can sign my autograph and leave with something of value. Wow. So when we talk to people about credit, it's not like a sales pitch. We are convicted over here about credit. This is like the Terminator. We're not trying to convince you to come with us. You better come with us if you want to live, because I don't see how you're living a life in America if you don't have a credit score to support it. And we can talk about Bitcoin. We can talk about 401ks, 403bs. But if we're talking about investments, when you got $500 in your bank account and $1,000 collection on your credit report, you holding somebody else's money. Don't get me started, right?
Wow.
So you need to get the base in order and the foundation before you could build on top of it. So this is a building block to anything you need to do in your life, because without a credit score, no one's going to have a conversation with you. Not even a conversation. You're a realtor, send somebody to a lender that's got a 400 credit score.
Yeah.
They'll get a hang up before they get a goodbye, right? And it's just what it is. It's not that people are mean. It's just that you're not bringing the basic building block for us to move forward. But I'll tell you what, for those who are ready to listen, I will give them that basic knowledge. But I will tell you what, there's nothing that hurts more than regret. There's nothing that hurts more than regret that I have experienced. It's just a loss of no other. And the reason why they say ignorance is bliss is because knowledge can be painful. And, I've known people that have been in ignorance so long. I mean, I pray that they stay in it, man, because if they were to get knowledge at this point and look back on what could have been, that could kill them, because it's killed me. So, people will say it's never too late to do the right thing. I believe that, but I don't believe that it comes without consequences. It pains me to look back on what could have been, but I am trying to instill that message in others so they can avoid the same path or accelerate onto an improved path. So that's what I'm about. As far as the name of it, Credit Kwon-Do. I used to take Taekwondo, and I know how fiercely, I got I went all the way to brown belt, and, I know what the tenets of Taekwondo is as a sport, as an art. And I just wanted to apply some of those philosophies to credit. Because again, the things that affect your credit report are things that you're doing off of the credit report. Yeah, we could give you some game and guide you and get rid of the inaccuracies and get the good stuff on your credit report. But you know what? If you don't replace the toxic thinking, the limiting self-beliefs, you're going to end up back where you started, man. So, we're going to talk about that more. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Bring your questions. We'll have answers. Because they're not coming from a book, they're coming from here. I lived it, and it's tough love that you're going to get from me, because hey man, if Harriet Tubman hugged people with words, we'd still be slaves. I mean, I didn't mean to go that deep on it, man. But I mean, God, we're coming up on Black History Month. I mean, there were a couple of people that wanted to go back to the plantation, and she didn't put an arm around them; she put a gun to their head. Like, you're going to have this success, or you're going to have something else.
Listen, I love that point. I love that point, because anytime you bring in a person and personality such as a Harriet Tubman, her intention was to not only be free herself, but give other people an opportunity to be free. And I love what you said. The reason why she had to shoot them was because they were going to slow her up. They were going to cause the years, the time that she took becoming free. Oh, you're not going to slow me up because you are reluctant to experience something that I've tasted already. And I'm trying to give you an opportunity. I love that so much. I've shared this with the people, and I've shared with them as a pastor, man. I cannot make people. I cannot, as much as my heart desires, as much as my will and my drive is to help them get to the place that we're both are praying for, believing for. Listen, I say it all the time, Dwayne. God is in control, but he is not controlling. He is not going to come in and usurp his authority over your inability to want to stay lazy, want to stay locked out of truth, want to stay locked out of opportunity. And I love it. We're giving people an opportunity to get free. Get free, like you said, of the stinking thinking of the here it is. It's not a derogatory word, but I think it's a word that a lot of people are living from, and that's the place of ignorance. Ignorance is not derogatory. It's just a place that you don't know. But if you have an opportunity to get in the seat to where somebody can turn the light on to show you, here is where you are at point. To be honest with you, Dwayne, and you could probably unpack this, some people don't even know where they are. as relates to their credit. Don't even know the importance of a report. And due to their ignorance, they won't even pull it. To understand, to get a free report, to know where. I said all the time, and I'll toss it to you from here. You cannot know where you're going if you cannot determine where you are.
Yeah. Look, I get it, because I was there. It's scary to look at. It's embarrassing to look at. It can fill you with so much regret. You could beat yourself up, and I know that because I've done all of those things. But yeah, the first step is to look at it and to understand that it could change. And that's why I'm so open with my story, how bad it was, how trifling I was. I mean, I was the years are racking up, and I was living with my parents, man. And I was every bit of trifling as you could be. But the first step was opening my eyes to where I'm at, because I can't get anywhere without knowing my current situation. I can't even set a goal. The first thing that you need to do when you get in the car and you're trying to go somewhere, first thing you need to do is punch in your current location to the navigation system. And you can't really go anywhere until you do that. The system is not going to light up the next button until you enter your current location, and you're going to be stuck until you do. So, and we just want to navigate you to where you need to be. I mean, at the end of the day, your children, your spouse, the people that depend on you, if you have a 12-year-old child in your house that you're responsible for, they've got a bad credit score, and they didn't have anything to do with it. So if you don't do it for yourself, do it for the people that you depend on. And I'll tell you this, if you're ashamed of your situation, do this. How about this for a success story? How about turning it around and showing your child firsthand experience in front of their face what it looks like to turn, an obstacle into an accomplishment, what it looks like to face your fears, what it looks like to turn your adversity around, work through it, and come out on the other end. That's going to feel better than any embarrassment or shame that you feel right now. It's going to feel 10 times that in self-esteem and self-worth when you look back at that monster and know that you slayed it.
Wow. Let me ask you this. Like I said, I don't want to give a lot into, because I want to save you. Like, it's game 7 tomorrow, so I'm not trying to call you out on the field tonight. I don't want you throwing everything tonight. I just want enough to let them know who coming on the mound tomorrow, who gonna close out this game 7. And to the people that are watching, listen, I want you to understand there is something going down tomorrow, and it's going. I can already feel the anticipation, the expectation, because I know there are a lot of people locked out. Watch this. They are locked out of homes that they have access and the key to. They just don't know how to use it. I want you guys that are in right now, hit that share button. You got somebody right now, start the year off every year waiting for that income tax return, and instead of putting it towards something that's going to benefit them and free them, like Dwayne said, they're going to be at the shopping mall, they're going to be on Amazon spending money, and the ignorance is they think it's free money that they just got when it was the taxes that they paid for the year prior. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But do you find we're going to have this tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be at our Norfolk location, 500 East Main Street in the wonderful city of Norfolk, Virginia. Dwayne Jenkins and his amazing company. It's funny you say Taekwondo, because I took Taekwondo too.
Oh, nice.
But I don't have no belt. I don't have no belt. I don't have no belt. I went. We that's a whole nother conversation. But he's coming tomorrow. And he's going to give us an opportunity to change our lives. He's going to come tomorrow, put us accountable on doing the first thing we need to do to move in the next direction. We've been given a directive to grow this year, and we wanted to do something that's going to cause our lives to be changed. And it's time for us to experience things that we have at our disposal. And I'm grateful tomorrow for this session. I'm grateful for tomorrow. And I wish the entire space can come, but it's standing room only. If you want to come, you better make sure you're in the building, because once I let him loose, I'm letting him loose. And whatever he give us, that's what he gonna give us. If you snooze, you gonna lose. You understand what I'm saying? But if you're tired of being behind the eight ball, if you are a person, as he was talking about, shame running from your credit history, you don't know it, you don't want to see it, you need to be in the building tomorrow. You need to be there so that we can grab the bull by its horns, deal with the elephant in the room. So I love what he said, so that you can break the curse off of your children, so that you can already start your children off at a great rate, at a great speed, so they're not picking up your bad habits. We were talking about that also, habits. Dwayne, I'm at the space of my life where I've been saying, once we get old, my wife and I, we don't want to leave our children's debt. We want to leave them deeds. We want to leave them an ability to never taste lack, but that's going to be our responsibility to have the courageous, to be courageous and look at some things that we've running from. Have you found that a lot of the clients that you've come into are or were in the places that they were due to generational ignorance? I'm gonna be honest.
I don't mean to laugh, man, but after you said that, the only thing my family leaving me is an increased risk of diabetes. So,
high
blood pressure.
Hey, Dwayne, because I understand. Let's just be real. My people, the people that have the melanin that I have, I know we don't really talk about money. We don't talk about credit. We don't talk about ownership. We don't talk about knowing how money moves and knowing how money is shaped. I praise God that I had a mom that was financially literate. My wife's father, man, and mother were, engulfed in finance world. He would take us like on a Saturday morning, come over to our home. He was the reason why at 22, my wife and I bought our first home. I was thinking about an apartment, bro. I was thinking about a condo. I never envisioned, my wife and I at 22 years old talking about being homos. We were laughing the other day. She found some old pictures and showed it to our children where we had our first night in our first home sitting in beach chairs. Wow. It was dope because we talked about, we may not have the Haverty's furniture, but we had a house that paid for a future. All because we had people that understood what we needed to know. Let me go back to the question. Have you found that it's due to no communication at all, that it's generational, that we don't understand the power of understanding money and credit, not having that language or being something that's constant in our conversation? It's not what we talk. Have you found that the clients that you've had, that you have, that a lot of the issue that they were in was due because of, again, I want to call it generational ignorance?
In a word, yes. And I think that could be traced back to, self-esteem. Even today, it's like, it just seems like it can feel like buying a house is for somebody else. It's like it can feel like that's somebody else's dream, or, oh, I would never be good enough to, get a house, right? But, when we're raised looking at, I know I grew up looking at, hip hop videos and rap videos and things like that. And, they're always in the drop top bins. They're doing this and doing that. I didn't see Bad Boy Entertainment or Death Row, signing mortgage papers in the videos. There was always like in a drop top, something, this or that. So then as an impressionable kid, and I'm not getting the financial difference or lessons from my family, not to call them out, but that's what it was. So then that's what I went after. I wanted the car. I wanted to be flashy. I wanted those things because I was taught that is what, will give me my worth. Right.
Yeah.
So, that's a whole nother conversation. It's really deep, but, in a word, yes. The information is not being shared, but again, that's I mean, can I say that's a culture thing? I mean, I've literally had relatives that act like they got a cold. 2 weeks later, they dead, and find out the doctor told them they had, 3 months to live. I mean, legit.
Wow.
I mean, people will tell you they just got a bad cough in my family, and then the next thing you know, you at their funeral. So at least me, I mean, I've come from a culture where people don't talk about anything. And I mean, and if you're a man and you start crying, you better tell your eyeball to suck that tear up off your cheek. So we come from a place where, we have to look tough. I mean, we walk down the street, you give somebody a nod or you stare at them. I mean, if you smile, you're weird. I mean, that's our culture. So it only lines up with not communicating about, these life-changing, worthwhile initiatives. You can get a house, man. I mean, you can get a house. It really helps if you enter into adulthood with those lessons, instilled in you. But, it's cyclical. It's generational. I mean, if your parents didn't have it instilled in them, and they're taught to just be happy for the crumbs that they got. I mean,
Wayne, God, man, I'm already listen, ladies and gentlemen, please do yourself a favor. If you're anywhere in the Hampton Roads area tomorrow, door's going to open at 6 o'clock. I'm letting him loose at 7. I know he has a wealth of wisdom that I know I want to hear. Can't wait to hear. That's going to unlock some things that I need to do. If you know you're in a place that you don't know your finance, he's bringing us what I believe is going to be the unlock. We're dealing with kingdom finance, about being able to unlock your credit wisdom. And I love he says it because you're doing it with believers. Now, here's the part that I want to bring in the church in. All right. I'm not gonna be mean tonight. I'm gonna be honest with you. Hey, Dwayne, one thing I keep it is a buck. I'm just letting you know, bro. I tell the church all the time, one thing your pastor is gonna keep it is a buck. And I will go as far as to say, I think that we could do a better job as the church when we prepare people not only for heavenly living, but until we get there, we got to do it down here. And when you were talking about the A&P, brother, I literally was with people who took that palm olive oil and went down to dealerships and messed up clear coats because they was trying to pray for something. Listen, they were trying to pray for something that they didn't have. Listen to me, brother. Dwayne, I love you, man. I love you, brother. Listen to me. I was there. I heard when people would say, go to that car lot, lay your hands on it, and just declare. Let me tell you something. And they would come back and still need a ride. Listen, because God don't work like that. And God don't work. And I think that if we do what Jesus did, see, Jesus just didn't touch, but he also taught. But he didn't teach only for the temple. Now let me go a little bit. This is why it wasn't even about the building for him. See, when Jesus came on the scene, he wasn't worried about a tabernacle. He wasn't worried about a tent. He wasn't worried about a temple. Jesus came and said, "Look, I'm ready to do something different. We're going to start a church." And when you understand the company of the church has nothing to do with the building that people assemble in. He always went out, and I love it because he was about balance. We got a lot of people, watch this, that know Bible but are broke. There are people who can preach but living poor. There are people, I'm getting ready to mess up, who can write sermons but can't write a check. And this is the issue that I wanted to attack as a young pastor because I got young parishioners. I'm caught between, I'm caught between two generations. I'm too old to be wearing skinny jeans, but I'm too young to be wearing Skechers. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm touching a generation that's wanting to know, how do I live after 60? Let's just say, Dwayne, Social Security is no longer a thing.
Yeah.
How do you live after 60, right? But then I got a generation that's looking at digital currency, just looking at spend it and forget it, ball out for the day. You know what I mean? Ball
YOLO, right? Yeah.
all it. So, but really don't understand the wisdom on it's not how much you can spend or get, it's how much you can keep.
Yeah.
So when you're saying these things, man, I believe that where you are and what God allowed you, and I love what you said, that you stumbled onto it as a mistake. But consider the amount of things that this earth has benefited from men and women who fell into life-changing purposes that have made an impact to change what we know as planet Earth simply because they thought it was a mistake. I believe you are where you are at a great and an important time. Our economy is about to shift. And I'm saying soon as this man gets sworn in on the 20th, I think a lot of stuff is going to change financially, economically. And if we don't do what we're supposed to do right now and get ourselves in position and know where we are at or know where we need to go, we are going to be in trouble. We're going to be like those people still begging and borrowing, but never building and getting anywhere and getting any place. This is why I love where you are. I love to hear the experience. I love to hear even the things like you said, how you had to attack it and see it. I know it looked messy. I know it looked dirty. I know it looked like you're never going to get out of it. But would you say that it's going to take, after you see it, it's going to take work. It's going to take a commitment. It's going to take consistency to really see yourself through that. What are some of the challenges that you coach your clients through? Let's say after we've identified the areas of opportunity where we can really make some change, there's some great potential there. What are some things that you had to or will let us know that you're going to have to coach through even after you see it? And then speak a little bit about after that person gets from that 400 to now, like you said, looking at a 750 and an 820. What's the directive that they don't get back into what the work you directed them to do to get out of it?
Well, I mean, it's self-esteem for one, and it's being real with yourself, and it's having patience in yourself. It's believing that you're actually worth the process it takes to heal yourself. I mean, we could get technical with it, but those are the main things. I mean, I've looked at somebody's, damage, and I say to, well, hey, for us to, try to help you, this is what it's going to cost. And they'll say, I've had somebody tell me they wanted to pray on it. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I love prayer, but did you pray over that Victoria's Secret card that's in collection? Wow. Did you even tell your husband about it? Did you pray over that? I mean, because I would love to know what that prayer looked like.
Wow.
And the altar that you did it at, if you really prayed over that. So don't play me with this little prayer stuff. This is you. Again, you haven't had. I had a pastor one time, loved this pastor, rest in peace, Reverend Lawson. And he was like, look, man, I just want to obey. I don't need that powerful testimonial. I don't want to have to go through all of that to get the powerful testimonial. I just want to do the right thing from the beginning. Some of y'all haven't gone through enough, adversity to have a powerful enough testimonial to light the fire up under you to do what you need to do. So, I mean, I think, you just need to be real with yourself. Then also you need to take some stock and pride in your own name. I mean, some of y'all will go to bat for Beyonce or Taylor Swift, but you won't even, I mean, the patience that I've seen people take in securing Beyonce tickets or Taylor Swift tickets.
Wow.
I wish you would put that same effort in your own name, because at the end of the day, Taylor Swift can sign her name and it has value. Some of you guys with your credit score, your name isn't as valuable as the ink you use to write it, right? So, I mean, let's be real with yourself. Let's get interested in our own lives. Let's stop going home and taking a break from our life to watch TV. I need you to be interested in the real or the story or the movie of your own life. Unless you're in a place where you own multiple properties with an 850 credit score and a positive net worth, how are you turning off your life to watch an actor pretend to to be somebody else. I'm more interested in my own life at this point. And I didn't start that way. I had to go through some stuff to get here, but I'm telling you guys, like, get started on the journey now. Understand that the things that you've seen online are not as good as they look. Okay. And that if you do the wrong thing, you're only going to set yourself back further. Some of these advertised shortcuts are long cuts. Some of these shortcuts that you see on TikTok, they're going to take they the longest detour from where you need to be, right?
Wow.
You know, so I mean, you know, some of you guys are trying to get to DC from Williamsburg, and then you take this shortcut and you find yourself in North Carolina, right? So I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know if you're doing the real thing or the fake thing, right? And, you know, there's nothing wrong with getting some Jordans first. There's nothing wrong with getting Jordans, but take care of yourself first. You know, I had to take care of, when I started taking care of Air Jenkins, the Air Jordans, I ended up with more of them than I ever had in my life. And it's something about prioritizing and putting first things first that'll get you more of that stuff that you ever wanted, right? You know, yeah. So, and I'll talk about this more tomorrow night, you know, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, look, this is my conviction, this is my passion, and can't nobody tell me nothing in this lane. It's just what it is, period, in the story. I mean, and if my story isn't enough to light a fire under you, we helped a single Black mom, and I'll tell you her story real quick. We helped a single Black mother. She's a homeowner in Hampton. We met her during COVID. She had used one of those Instagram fast schemes and definitely got taken for a ride. Unfortunately, her realtor convinced her to give us a shot. In COVID, if you remember, people were selling houses, right?
Yes.
They were selling houses, so it was hard to find a house to rent. And the other thing about this single Black mother, she had 5 kids. 5.
Wow.
5, and she's doing it on her own, right? So won't no apartment floor plans for her and 5 kids. She was renting a house, and every time she found a house, it got sold out underneath her to the point where she was living in a hotel.
Wow.
And she did everything we asked her to do, everything she needed to do. And we had our ups and downs, and it was a process, but it ended at a closing table. And even with that story, she still had to say, she said, you know what? I like my shoes, and I had to cut out some of that spending to make sure I stayed with this. And look at where she ended at. And if you think I'm making this stuff up, that's the separator. This is why we go to closings, because we actually have closings to go to, number one. But when you see other people online with the fake credit report that got photoshopped with this fake credit report, you can't fake being in a closing with a lender, an attorney, the buyer, and the agent all tagged in the picture. You cannot fake that.
That's right.
So, and we've got multiple stories, and that's one of them, but that's my favorite one to share because I you know, look, I mean, somebody did it with 5 kids.
Yeah.
5 kids. I mean, what are we talking about? You know?
That's awesome, man.
You can't do that. You can't make this change
with 5 children. Yeah.
You know, the difference is she could have had 10 kids, but you know what? She believed that she deserved more out of life. She deserved, she was worthy more of her life. And she could have had a school bus full of children and she would have still found a way because she knew that what her potential was worth the patience that she had to pour into the process. And I think, again, in this microwave society, I mean, you know, my goodness, I order something off of Amazon. I do it too. I order something off of Amazon. I got to look for that Prime label. I need it there in 2 days. And then Prime ain't even good enough. I need it the same day. I'm like, who's going to deliver this the same day for free? You know, and I don't even, and then the item will just sit unopened in the box for the next 2 weeks. So it's like we've got this mental disorder where we're programmed for right now and we're not building for our future.
That's good, man.
But the future is going to be right now, and you want to have the best version of you in it.
Dwayne, man, you can't see, but IG, man, is going crazy. There's somebody right now who I know is a great friend of mine. She's an amazing entrepreneur. And she already said, I need him. I need him to help me address some stuff. And so, yeah, this is the point I'm talking about. And this is the reason why I love this space and why I really wanted to do this, because I know people that need this. I need this. The people I'm connected to need this. I never get to a place where I think I got it all. I know it all. I'm always gonna live in, I call it the language of the learner. I'm always going to be at a place, like I said, hearing somebody that is like versed and know, so that I can learn and do better, do big and doing what I'm doing. And if you're talking about growing, you got to sit down somewhere and get taught, sit down somewhere and get the information on what needs to take place in order to get you to that desired place. So I appreciate you, man, even taking these last 40 minutes or so and just downloading some things, man, that's giving us a reason to want to show up tomorrow. And I can hear the Kwando behind it, the sensei. I can hear it, in you, where is I'm gonna love you, but I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna challenge you because you have to get here. I loved what you said. You have to do this. And a lot of us are at that space where we got to do it. Our families are depending on it. Our children are depending on it. Our futures are depending on it. And I thank you, man, for saying yes to this and bringing this to us. And I've been telling our church, man, listen, y'all got to be there. I can cook it. I can kill it. I can fry it. I can put it on the table. The only thing I can't do, I can't make you eat it. I can't chew it for you. I can't swallow it. If you miss this opportunity, it's not on me. And this is the point. I think it's a breaking point. And I love, like I said, and this is why I put the pastor hat on. I love the way God positions things. There's a passage of scripture in the Bible where he says, and God create for his own purpose at the proper time. I think because other times we tried it and just the schedules were everywhere. And this time it was just like, it works. It fits. Now is the time. And so I've been saying it. I think there's going to be a major shift economically, financially. And I've been telling the people who are willing to listen to me, get your books right. Get your house in order, because there's nothing more frustrating to showing up to a prepared place unprepared.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing more frustrating. Somebody provides you with an opportunity, but you are not prepared and your bus leaves you. I don't want to be held responsible for not creating. As a pastor, my job is to create opportunities for this people to know God's voice even clearer. It's my job to create opportunities for people to advance and grow spiritually, naturally, relationally, and whatever possibility I can put you in. The only thing I can't do is do it for you. And so I'm thankful, man. I if you can really see the little man inside of me, I'm like the Wizard of Oz. You can hear the voice, but you don't see the little man. I am super excited, man, for what I know, and just hearing you these last few moments, what you're going to bring to us. Some of us, you're going to help us break this generational ignorance. You're going to help us finally come into the ring and deal with this thing called debt. You're going to, I already sense it, man. And our children are going to be better for it. Our future is going to be better for it. And I'm just grateful for God creating a Dwayne Jenkins and you coming in that Bible study that night, man. And you were for me as opposed to I was for you, or whatever you heard that night. I knew God sent you in there because he knew that this night needed to take place, because your voice is definitely the voice of choice for right now and what we need to hear. So I'm thankful, man. I'm grateful for you, y'all. Tomorrow night, listen, it's going down. Y'all got a little sample tonight. He was nice. He ain't open. He unload the clip. Tomorrow, he's gonna unload the clip. 7:00, 500 East Main Street, Norfolk, Virginia, in the Gather Building. We going up 16th floor, and this man is going to get us on the road to get our houses right, to fix the thing that we've allowed to be broken. Some of the stuff that we knew was wrong and been running from it. It's time now to deal with it. Dwayne, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, and this baby in the Credit Quando. I'm excited for it, and if you are, like I said, and this is not inclusive. This is not just for Revival Center Virginia Beach. This is for whoever is in a space and place where you've been saying to yourself, "I got to get my stuff right." This is open to you. Just let us know. You can send an email. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and put my email up. The email address is out there tomorrow. We'll have connections, how you can go even deeper with Dwayne. There are going to be opportunities. I'm sure he'll be sharing after the session as to how you can really dive in and get deep and dig in. I know some people that's going to connect tomorrow to take it to the next step. We just want to put you in the room. I just want to get you in the room with him. That's all I want to do. I was an instigator back in the day, bro. I start the fight and I leave. I let y'all hash that out. That's the same thing, and I still do it today. So I just want to get you into the room with a guy that I know is going to put us in a place where we can start going to bed and going to sleep and not having high blood pressure because we don't know where our money at or how it's working or, am I going to be approved? You're going to leave them people's clear coat wax alone. You ain't going down there and laying your hands on no car. We done with that. Because you're going to do the directions that he's going to give us. And you're going to be able to strike that check, or you're going to be able to use somebody else's money and be able to put yourself in a position. I love what he said about having positive net worth. If you don't know what that terminology is, you need to be there tomorrow. Like, if you don't know where your money is, if you don't know what your numbers are, you need to be there tomorrow. So I'm inviting you personally to be my special guest. Again, 7:00 doors are going to open at 6, 500 East Main Street, Norfolk, Virginia, at the Gather Building. It's going down. We are dealing with kingdom finances, how to have wisdom in the area of credit for Christ followers. Please be there. Dwayne, you got anything to say, man, before we get out of here?
I'm excited for tomorrow. Thank you for having me. I'm getting hyped for this. I was already hyped now.
I can tell. I can feel it in the text messages, man. Me too, man. Me too. I've been waiting for this. Honestly, I've been waiting for this, and I know it's gonna exceed our expectations. Get some rest, man. Thank you for, like I said, laying over, staying after the meeting just to give us a little bit on what we're going to experience tomorrow. Hey, man, I see you tomorrow. Ain't nothing you can do about it. I appreciate you, and I look forward to it. All right. I'll definitely, I'm going to send your information, like I said. And listen, they're over in Houston, Texas, and they killing my IG right now. So I gotta get you connected to them. Okay. But I appreciate you, man. Have a good night. And as I always say, Lord willing and the creek don't rise. I will see you tomorrow, man. Thank you so much.
All right, brother.
See you. Hey, man, oh my God, man. Listen, guys. Listen to me. Listen to me. The Bible says, you have not because you ask not. I don't know where you are in your life right now. I don't know. All I know is that there is a shift that's taking place. All I know is something big is about to hit this world. I've been sensing it since last year, and all I can sense God telling me, not just for myself personally, but to whomever will be willing to listen, is to get your houses in order. I need you to prepare. There's a scripture that God gave our church exclusively there in Exodus chapter 23, when he had come to Moses and told them, listen, I already got a prepared place for you. I already have everything set. But until you increase in population where you are, until you grow the size of the place that I'm taking you, you're not going to be there. And God told us this is the year of growth. Growth, listen, growth in every area of your life. I was telling the church yesterday, this is going to be the year of expansion, But before God expands, he exposes. He exposes not for embarrassment. He exposes not to make us feel bad, because the Bible says, do not despise the chastisement of the Lord, because the Lord chastises those who he loves. And that chastisement is correction. Correction, as we look at it prospectively, it's not a bad thing. It puts us on the road to where we need to go, as opposed to where we thought we were doing. I'm so grateful that God allowed me and Dwayne Jenkins to connect. Out of all the places that we could have connected, it was at a Bible study. And I'll share a little bit more of our story tomorrow, but how God just linked it. And I knew there was something different about this guy when I first saw him. It was just the connect. And once we had a conversation, we met, sat down, and had some tea and coffee and just talked. I knew that God knew what he was doing. I knew it. God knew what he was doing, and God set it up. And his first answer was yes. And so, Revival Center, Virginia Beach, I'm excited. Y'all know what I've been saying, what we've been saying. And I believe God has positioned us for such a time as this. We're going to get our houses right. We're going to get our money right. We're going to get our business in order. And I'm over the fact that we got all this church, but no change. We shout, we dance, we sing. We spend a lot of time in that building, yet we come out and build nothing. We spend all that time in prayer. We go on 21-day fast. We fast for 30 days. And yet we still have no change. I've taken the responsibility as a pastor to say, if we are not going to model what we are ministering, we just need to shut it down. There are people who haven't confessed Christ, listen to me, and are using the principles of Scripture and are being blessed because they work. They work. When you do what they say, even if you're not connected to God, it worked. The Bible says he reigns on those who are just as well as those who are unjust. That means those who take what he said at his word and use it and apply it, even though they've not made a open confession. It works. I want us as a people who have said yes to God, who have openly confessed, who post on our pages, who write on our timelines, who send pictures of baptisms and ordinations, and yet we are still struggling. We're still trying to, as he was saying, AMP it, hope and pray and wish. But no, not this year. Not this year. The game has changed. And I believe God is saying, here is your opportunity. I put before you life and death. And he says, I want you to choose life. The only issue is I can't choose it for you. So listen, again, if you're in the Hampton Roads area, anywhere, we're going to be downtown Norfolk tomorrow. We're going to be at our Norfolk location, 500 East Main Street. Doors going to open at 6. I'm loosing him at 7. I might let him go early, but you need to be in the building. I want you there. I'm trying to contemplate if it's going to be live, but some of you need to. I'm really trying. I don't know if I'll just record it and then post it to our app. I don't know. I'm just going to wait. I want you there. There's nothing like being there. And then he's going to do some things after the session to be able to privately connect with you and create opportunity for you to take it to the next level. I've already invited him in my space, and he's putting me accountable to some things, to attack some things. Listen, I know I'm getting ready. I've been saying, my wife been saying, there's some millionaires in this house. And I've been saying, you got to start speaking the truth in real time. And also, you got to go ahead and put the feet in. You got to put the work to it. So you can't be a millionaire with okay, I ain't gonna go there. But and let me tell all y'all who want to use that, the wealth of the wicked being transferred for the just, I get it. I don't knock it. That's God's word. But let me give you some wisdom behind that. God's not going to transfer anything to somebody who don't know how to steward what they have now. God's not going to transfer anything. Yes, the wealth of the wicked, but the wicked took time to get their book straight. The wicked took time to learn how to multiply their money. The wicked took time to get into spaces, rooms like we're going to have tomorrow, to learn how to add, how to increase, how to make sure that your numbers are where they need to be, so that there is no stop in the flow. And so before we get there, there's nothing going to be transferred. And so God has given us an opportunity, and I thank God for allowing me this space and time to create this for us. So that's it. That's my soapbox. I'm just passionate about it because I'm passionate about people getting to the place, their God-given position, their God-given purpose. And I know this is an area that a lot of us don't talk about. This is an area that a lot of people run from and hide behind. This is an area that we'll shout and dance, just don't talk about money. I'll shout and dance, just don't ask me what my credit report is. I'll sing, I'll have conferences, I'll do all that other stuff, but don't ask me what's on my credit report. I want this to be the year that we kill Goliath, that we cut his head off, and that we live the life that God intended and envisioned. I love y'all. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. Tomorrow night, 7:00, we are going to be dealing with, like I said, kingdom finances. And we are going to find out how we can unlock credit wisdom. How we can unlock credit wisdom. And I love the way Dwayne said it. He said, I want to unlock it for Christ followers. Because God's way, God's people have a different way from seeing how money works. And when you get the wisdom of God, with some financial backing behind it, oh man, you are a threat spiritually and naturally, right? And so I'm endeavoring to get in those spaces. And those people that are willing to listen to us, we're going to help you get in those spaces. We're going to win. We are planning to win. That was the thing that God told us to do. I want you to plan to win this year. So in our planning, one of the first things we're going to do is address the elephant in the room. I got more stuff that's coming, but we're gonna start off that. We're starting off January. We're gonna start with the big dog. Money. We're gonna start off with the big dog. Do you know your numbers? Where are you? Is your money healthy? Is your credit healthy? And yeah. So stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff coming. Love y'all. Have a great night.